welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I really wanted to spend some time in my sketchbook, do some drawing, and I thought it would be fun to talk about some of my tips for making good-looking aesthetic sketchbook spreads, pretty sketchbook pages. This is something I've kind of, like when I'm looking for YouTube videos to watch, like this is something I've looked for, and I haven't really found any like useful tips, but I've gotten pretty happy with how my sketchbook pages are looking recently, and I've like noticed like some of the things that are making them look better, so I thought it would be fun to share them with you guys. Also, I started this video, I already had some stuff drawn on this page. I usually like to start a nice clean fresh page, but I didn't want to wait to make this video, so it's fine. But my first tip is contrast. Just including as much contrast, like the variety in the amount of detail, like maybe one sketch is more finished, one's just like a rough sketch, variety in the different like sizes of your different sketches. Maybe you've got like a bigger one surrounded by some smaller sketches, as well as like different textures, color versus black and white. Maybe you have different mediums, just as much variety and like contrast as you can get. This next tip I think is what makes the biggest difference. Like I feel like just doing this one tip makes my pages look so much better, and that is to have your sketches overlap. So to do this, I'm usually drawing faces, so I'll like start a sketch of a person's face and then I'll start drawing like the next one next to it, and then I'll go back to the first one, and usually I'll have like their hair will be like the part that overlaps. So just draw like the main focal point and then like finish the like perimeter of the sketch. So it's usually the hair is like going to like butt up to the second sketch. And another tip, if you're drawing faces, pay attention to which direction they're looking. This might be a personal thing, but I think it's weird when like all the faces you draw are like the same angle and like looking the same direction. So just try to be aware of that. My next tip, and again, I think this is probably a personal thing, I really like full busy sketchbook pages, and so I just like to try and fill in as much of the empty space as I can. So I'll draw like my bigger like faces or whatever, maybe I'll have 3 or 4 on a page, and then I'll add in smaller sketches where they fit. It could be just adding like a background wash behind the sketches. You could fill in the blank space with like patterns or gradients. One thing I like to do, I like to draw like easy things, so like flowers or plants. For easy like relaxing ways, you could fill them with like mandalas or Zen doodles. And I have a lot of these because I always end up with like weird shaped like empty space after I've like drawn my main drawings, so I just always try to fill them in with something. My next tip, which I'm trying to work on too, I see other people's sketchbook pages on like Instagram and stuff, and I think it's like so fun and like just another layer of like interest and like meaning, and that's adding text to your sketchbook. So I'm trying to implement that in mine. I've been adding like speech bubbles coming from my characters, thought bubbles, thoughts about your drawings, random phrases, could be anything like song lyrics, quotes, anything that like adds meaning to your sketch. You could just put like words on a character's t-shirt or something. Maybe you were following a prompt, you could like label the sketch like what your prompt word was. Dating the sketch, I have been working on this sketchbook forever. It takes me forever to fill up sketchbooks, so I'm always drawing for some reason on New Year's Eve, so like all my like last drawing of the year I try and label. But yeah, just like any words, and this might be silly, but I feel like I'm so bad for like coming up with words. I literally have a note in my phone of like text ideas of like what to add to my sketchbook. So like anytime like a random like phrase or anything, or like song lyrics I like, or just something I find and see that I like and like I think it would be cool to put in my sketchbook, I like add it to my little list. So yeah, just like adding text. My next tip is you could try a cohesive page. So a little bit different than the contrast, but you could try the same color scheme throughout. I do a lot of marker work, so like if you pick out a few markers, like that could be your color scheme, and just try and use all those same colors for each of your little sketches. Another way you could do this is using the same medium throughout, so like a whole entire ballpoint pen page or like all pencil sketches. And I like to unite my sketches by having like certain aspects blend from like one sketch to the next. So on this page, you'll see the girl on the top. I had like one strand of her hair turns into that like tree branch that the bird is sitting on. So I just like to find ways to like incorporate to blend my sketches together. Maybe you're like having the background blend from one sketch to the next. But yeah, just cohesive and like blend stuff together. My last tip isn't that exciting. It's kind of common sense. But it's don't be afraid to experiment. You know, sketchbooks are for learning and growing as an artist. And honestly, I find pages where you don't try too hard can look better than pages where you're like really planning it and trying to make it look like perfect. So if I just go into it with like, if I'm just like drawing for fun and I'm more carefree, I can tell my sketches are more loose and flowy versus if I'm really planning it out, sometimes things can get stiff and rigid looking. But don't be afraid to like try new mediums, try new techniques, and if you really don't like something, you can always cover it up. My sketchbook is full of like stickers covering things that I don't like. I'll print out, I'd like to draw stuff on my iPad and print them out on my Cricut, so like they're still my drawings, but it's like covering up stuff that I don't like. But you can cover stuff up with paint, anything you want. And it's okay also to get inspiration from other artists. Maybe you like someone else's sketchbook spread that you see on Instagram or something. You can try copying their layout or their color scheme, but just try to give it your own spin. Yeah, but these are my sketchbook tips, and I feel like they've definitely made a big difference in my sketchbook. I think my pages look a lot better these days than they did even like a year ago. So yeah, hopefully this motivates you to work in your sketchbook, draw some more drawings. So these were all my tips for how I make my sketchbook look better. If you guys have any tips, I'd love to see them if you want to leave a comment. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video and got some ideas maybe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!